Hi everyone, this is Manoj, Head of Academics at Concepts Era. Now, if you're watching this video, you're probably about to start your GMAT prep or may have taken a few steps into it. And at this point, a very crucial question arises. Do I engage in self-prep or do I take up a full-fledged GMAT program to get guided assistance to take the test? I'm here to help you make that decision. I hope that you can realize the points I'm putting forward to make an educated decision on which route is the best for you. Now, what are the advantages of self-prep? What are the benefits that people see before they think that, well, I will engage in self-prep? Well, number one, there are plenty of resources online. The first thing that any person who wants to discover information on any topic would do is Google it. The number of resources a person can find is huge. You've got so many test prep companies providing free mock tests, numerous official questions in multiple GMAT forums, and even explanations for these questions. And this is one reason why students believe that when everything is just a download away, why invest money on a GMAT course? Because I can find all the resources I need. And here is where the advantage number two comes in: saving some money, right? Because why should I bother paying about $200 or so when I can get this done myself? See, people are hardwired to think negatively, right? So people are always skeptical about investing their money on some product or course. So self-prep seems to appear as a huge money-saving option. But sadly, there are the advantages of self-prep. You know why? Actually, there are more drawbacks to the self-prep style than we would actually like to think. So, number one, the irony of the availability of the abundant sources is that what you get in terms of quantity, you may lose out in terms of quality. See, a lot of third-party sources provide content which are, sad to say, poor reflections of the actual GMAT test. Only official sources should be trusted because that's exactly what you'll see on the GMAT, right? So if you resort to unofficial sources, you might get completely sidetracked from what you'll see on the GMAT itself. Number two, students resort to online forums to seek explanations because they soon realize the fact that the explanations on the official guides, they themselves are lacking. But the problem with online forums is that they are public forums and anybody can present his or her views there. But yes, there are some amazing people who are like GMAT experts there who can provide excellent explanations, definitely. But do keep in mind that a lot of brands try to promote themselves on these forums as well. And I have witnessed many shocking explanations for these questions from these top brands. I'm not naming any of them, but that's the sad truth. So is their intention to mainly promote themselves or help you out? That is something that you have to think about. And how would you know which explanation is the right one that works for a particular question when there are so many contributions from different sources? Think about it. Problem number three, there's a lack of direction. This is a common concern which has been raised by many students over the years who had prepped by themselves and later reached out to me and they've said, well, they're often confused where to start. Should it be verbal first or quants first, or should it be simultaneously done? Or how many weeks or months would this take? How many mock tests should I take? So with the lack of a proper study plan, self-preppers often feel lost in trying to understand where exactly prep should go and how long it's going to take. Right? And from that, there might be the next problem, self-doubt. This arises from the aforementioned lack of direction, right? Because after practicing from free sources, one can take mock tests to see where one stands. But in most cases, you're likely to find a score far less than what was expected. This could lead to self-doubt and demotivation, leading to people thinking that now someone needs to guide them, or even losing hope for the GMAT test on the whole, right? And problem number five is the knowledge and strategic gaps. See, these might well be the biggest problems one faces because For example, if one takes a module like sentence correction, you'll know that GMAT tests for 7 major concepts, but test takers might end up making very narrow-minded decisions and fail to understand one important aspect. This is a test of logical reasoning. So whether it's verbal or quants, if we don't train to look at things logically, then significant gaps in our approach to questions would occur. And one might not be aware of strategic tips that are important to understand how to manage the test and oneself during the test. So unless the 3 pillars, concepts, methodologies and strategies, unless these 3 pillars come together, prep is never going to come full circle. Alright? So this is problem number 6. So was money actually saved? Well, over the years, many students have approached me after like 1 or 2 attempts of the GMAT test and then decided to invest in a course. So you should keep in mind that the 1 or 2 failed attempts themselves would have been like a very costly affair, because the GMAT exam fee itself is high, isn't it? So a big question to ask yourself is, do I keep spending money for multiple attempts and then invest in a good program, or do I invest in the program and tackle the test in one shot, right? So guys, keep this in mind. The objective was not to intimidate you about the idea of self-prep itself, alright? There have been some students who have engaged in self-prep successfully. But the goal was to highlight the realities of the test and help you better realize what should be the better path to take for you. Because I hope these points give you enough to think about whether self-prep is the best option for you or a guided GMAT program. See, self-prep is not a bad idea, but before you engage in it, you definitely need to plan how to overcome these issues you may face. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.